Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I would like to show you how you can make a machine that is isolated from the internet to look like as if it were connected directly to the internet. Alright, so here in the picture you can see a machine which has FreeBSD and has I call this the server machine, and it's connected to the internet. I'm going to install this using UTM. And this machine also, of course, has a loopback device. And what I'm going to do is to basically create a second interface on the machine. This is already done backstage, so I installed the machine already. And I'm going to install another machine, which again I've done already in the back. Those two machines are basically connected through a private network that you can see here. So the VTnet1 on the server machine connects to VTnet0 on the client machine. In my setup, I just looked at the IP addresses. The internet is accessible through the gateway 192.168.64.1. And of course, we have a loopback interface, and the VTnet on the 0 on the server machine has the IP address 64.24, and the VTnet 1 has the IP address, the private one, 128.10. Of course, the client machine also has a loopback device, and the VTnet 0 has the private address 128.9. The typical way you'd go about setting up this is that the client would connect to the internet through a proxy, for example, an HTTP proxy. We can do this by having a tiny proxy running, for example, on port 8888, and it routes the traffic coming from VTnet1 to VTnet0. This is basically the setup that I'm going to use, so I'm not going to use openvpn or anything. It's just I only have a tiny proxy, an HTTP server running. The downside of what I'm going to show you is that I can only route TCP packets, not UDP packets. Alright, so what am I going to do? I'm going to use a program that was recently contributed to FreeBSD, which is tuned to SOCKS, and that I've committed to the FreeBSD ports tree. And this is going to open a tune device, and I'm going to put, create this tune device, tune 0, and I'm going to put this on the IP address 192.18.0.1. /16, that is the network that's going here. And basically what I'm going to do is that I'm going to tunnel with the tune to SOCKS, I'm going to tunnel the traffic to the tiny proxy. Another thing that we're going to see is that we still need to have a DNS server, and for that we can use the unbound server from FreeBSD, and therefore the unbound is going to be binding to localhost and forwarding the requests over TCP to TUN0. Okay, it looks a little bit complicated, but it really is not. Let's do this then. So here you can see I've booted the server machine. It's a completely new install. Let's log into the machine and let's just verify the machine. It's the 64.24 and 128.10. It has VTnet 0, VTnet 1. Let's try to ping the client. Ping 192.168.128.9, and we can ping that machine. All right, so before we continue, I've installed already user ports, and I will have to do here a small trick, because this is still not, within the ports tree. I mean, I've committed, but the system needs to compile the thing such that you can just install it quickly. But for now, you can just do a git pull, and you can see some videos on how to get the ports tree to do that. So it just says that everything is up to date, and you can go to net and tune to, if I can type, tune to SOCKS. Okay, and now, let's just type in make. Okay, now we can just do make package, and this is fine. So let's, I think it's under user, find tune to socks pkg, and you can see that it created the file under /user ports net tune to socks work pkg tune to socks. I'm just going to copy this to my root directory, so under ports, because we're going to have to install this application in the other machine. Net tune to socks work pkg tune to socks /root. All right, so this was the tough part, which again, once in a couple of times, probably when you see this video, you can just do a pkg install, tune to socks, and everything should be fine. But for now, I have to compile it directly from the ports tree. Good. The next step is to install tiny proxy. For that, I just do pkg install tiny proxy. And I need to edit the configuration. And of course, if you follow my videos, you've been shouting at the screen and saying, what? You forgot Vim and Midnight Commander. Okay, let's do it. pkg install Vim and Midnight Commander. Good, so now we edit user local etc tinyproxy.conf. So this looks fine. The port should be 8888. That's okay. We can say listen to our IP address on our IP address. So 192.168.128.10. And there should be some allow. So here means we allow only things from localhost. We don't really want that. We want to allow everything under 192.168.128.0 / let's just say 24. So service tiny proxy enable service tiny proxy start and sockstat, and we see that we have the service running on the current address 128.10 on port 8888. Let's go to the client and see if this is working. So here we are in the client, and we log in also as root. And here there is no internet. So let's just do first if config. And as you can see, it's the VTnet 0. It has the address, the private one, 128.9. All right. So if we try to do a pkg install Midnight Commander in Vim, of course, it's not going to do anything. If we try directly to fetch http google.com, it cannot do this. But let's try here with http proxy equals http 192.168.128.10 on port 8888. And now we should be able to fetch. Yes, we can fetch. So the proxy is working. So let's remove the file. Remove google.com. Okay. Now we need to get the tune to socks to create the tunnel in this machine, in the client. So for that, let's go again to the server where we created the package, and we will copy the package to this client machine. So here we are back, and let's go to root directory, and we should have the tune to socks, the package here. So let's copy this thing to and I have a user test at 192 and test at 192.168 128.9. Of course that I forgot to say the destination, so /tmp, and now yes, and let's put the password, and now the file has been copied. Let's go again to the client and let's install this package. Here we are back in the client machine, pkg install /temporary tune2socks. Let's do this. Okay, so basically we could not do this. I thought it was possible to do it. No problem. This is just a really simple executable file. So let's go back to the server machine. So which tune2socks? I think it's not installed. No problem. So let's go back to user ports net tune2socks and let's do make install. And which tune2socks, and now we have here under user local bin. So let's just copy that, secure copy user local bin tune2socks to test 192.168.128.9 tmp. Of course, test, I need to add the @ sign, so my keyboard sometimes is a little bit difficult. All right, so the file should be there. Let's verify tmp tune2socks, and the file seems to be there. So let's move from temporary tune2socks to user local bin, and okay, so there is, this directory is not there. Let's then just create a directory, say make there. The machine is really fresh, or maybe I'm just going to be a naughty person and just move from tmp tune2socks to /bin. This is also going to work. And tune2socks version, this should now be working, version 260. All right, so we are almost there. Now we need to create the tune device. So let's see again the internet, the network interfaces. We have VTnet0 with the address 128.9, and we're going to create the tune device by running the tune2socks. Here I'm going to switch to another console. So here it is. Let's log in also as root, and again if config. We are here still having VTnet. Let's go to the first console. Here we are. Yes, the client has logged in. And let's just run tune2socks with the following parameter: -t tune0 -p http So here we are again. Sorry for that, I was distracted before. And we are trying to bring the tunnel up. There were some errors. Let's try to do this slightly different. So tune2socks, let's see with help. So let's say the config, this should be under tune0 and proxy http 192.168.128, and the machine is 10 on 8888. Let's just try it like that. Okay, yeah. It's not a config, it's a device for sure. Device. Okay, so now it looks like it's running. You see there are a couple of mistakes I made in the video. Well, I will leave them in. So we started tune2socks on the device tune0, This device was not existing, it should have been created now, and we go to a proxy the machine, the 128.10 on port 8888. Let's go to the let's go to the other terminal. So here, and under ifconfig, now we should see that we have tune 0. Okay, we are coming very close. What we need now is, because we are using the same interface, so root, let me see, netstat dash r, let's go for numeric. Currently this is what we have, and I don't think that there is a default route, but let's just remove, so root route delete default. I think this is it has not been found. That's fine. And here I had a little bit of trouble when I was investigating this for myself, and I can show you here a small trick, which is the following. Because we are using the same interface to communicate with the proxy and to tunnel all the traffic for tun 0, so we need to do add route add dash net that n00000/1 interface tune 0. Let's see. Okay, this is there. And now the next one, 128. So this basically covers the whole internet, but we don't have any loops or any crazy and weird thing. So let's just try to do fetch. Let's say HTTP 8888. I think it should not work, but okay. So it says no route to host. It's probably trying to figure out what is the 8888. All right, before I continue here, actually I should have done some other thing. The ifconfig, of course, the tune 0 is not properly configured, so let's do this by hand. So ifconfig tune 0, so I added the routes before, but it should be fine. 192.168. No, I said this is 18.01/16. Let's say an MTU of 1500, and let's bring the interface up. That should be, now it should be there. Netstat rn, I think this is looking good. And now let's try to do again the fetch. Still no route to host. So let me try to do the route again. So route delete default. That should not be there. So delete 0000/1 and 128. So it could be sockstat.rn, netstat.rn. It could be a small problem from before. Let's just try to check the connectivity again. 192.168.128.10. We can see the machine, that's fine. Ifconfig, we are machine.9, so things are looking good. And let's add the routes again. Route add net 0000/1 interface tune 0, and the same thing for the 128. Now let me try to do again another fetch, and now as you can see, at least it's trying to do something, so I can interrupt the things. It's trying to fetch a page, so this looks already pretty good. But we need to resolve the DNS. Of course, we cannot fetch from 8888, but it was already showing some interesting things. So this machine doesn't have Vim installed yet. let's go to var unbound.conf, and let's configure this machine. So interface, we're going to put this in the loopback. So that should be good, and let's try local unbound checkconf under var unbound.conf. So there seems to be no errors. Now let's see etc resolve.conf, and let's change this to so the name server 127001, and let's do a ch flags chg etc resolve. I hope that this is good, and let's try to fetch now http google.de. Of course, the unbound is still not working, but we should start it. User spin local unbound under var unbound.conf, and let's try to fetch google.de. And as you can see, we are able to fetch google.de. How nice is that? So pkg install vim and midnight commander, and as you can see, this machine that is actually isolated, we only have a private network, is actually it's acting as if we were fully connected to the internet, and all the connections are just going over a proxy. How nice is this? Of course, now Vim is installed, and I just advise, because of the way that those configurations are done here, that we look at etc ssh sshd, and there should be use DNS here, and we do this send, turn it to no, because we don't want DNS resolves on SSH daemon. So service SSHD restart, and we should be good to go. Of course, you can put this into some initialization scripts, and when the machine boots up, you are going to have the connections directly to the internet. So let's just go again and see. This is, we have VTnet 0, which is the private network, the 128.9. We have the Tune 0, which we configured with the 18.01. And we have the netstat. These are the routes that we configured, and basically we have a running system. Let's just go to the terminal here. So this is the other one, and you can see that the communication is being forwarded over the HTTP proxy. Really nice. Okay, so I hope you liked the video. If you have some comments or suggestions, you know what to do. You have the space down below. I'm always happy to receive comments and suggestions. Otherwise, so thanks for passing by. Don't forget to leave a like, also makes me quite happy. And yeah, see you next time. Take care and bye-bye.